Hello friends, this video discusses the questions and answers of Management of Nursing Services and Education exam conducted by KUHS in September 2019. The questions were essay, short notes, enumerate the following and differentiate between. Under essay, there were two: define recruitment, explain steps in selection process, explain advantages and disadvantages of promotion as an internal source of recruitment. Each essay carry 15 mark, and with each question there is division of mark. The first part 2 mark, the second part 7 mark, and the third part 6 mark. Second essay, differentiate between administration and management, list down the principles of administration by entry file, explain the steps of planning. Mark also distributed as 2 plus 7 plus 6. Second set of questions is short note. Remember, each question carried 5 mark. The questions were guidance and counseling, importance of public relation in nursing administration, master rotation plan, Indian Nursing Council, nursing audit. The third part or the third set of questions is enumerate the following. You have to mention about or enumerate about 4 principles of organization, 4 methods of patient care assignment, 4 ethical concepts related to nursing, 4 qualities of a leader, 4 principles of adult learning. And the last set of questions differentiate between. Each question carry 2 mark. Incremental budget and zero-based budget, job description and job specification, malpractice and negligence, in-service education and continuing education, benchmarking and nudge. First question, define recruitment, explain different steps in selection process, explain the advantages and disadvantages of promotion as an internal source of recruitment. 2 plus 7 plus 6 mark, total 15 mark. While answering a question, you have to see the mark distributed or given to each part and plan your time and answer according to the mark. Let us see the answer key of first question. The first part of first question is define recruitment. Two definitions are mentioned here with the authors mentioned. So remember, while writing the definition, it is always better mention 2 definitions with their authors so that you will get full mark. The second part of our question is explain different steps in selection process. It carries 7 marks. So you have to first mention the steps of selection process. The 7 steps are mentioned here, you can see. These are the 1 to 7 steps of selection process. You have to mention it first like this. Then you have to explain about each one. The first step is preliminary interview. The prompt is written here. Second step, filling the blank application form. The key point is mentioned here. Third step, selection or employment test. Under that you have to mention what is an employment test, what are the different types of employment test. About selection interview, in that selection interview you have to mention the types of interview and interview process. The fourth step, medical examination. Fifth step, reference check. And the sixth, the final step is final selection with the answer key under each one. Remember, this is only the answer key. The explanation you have to study from your own text and write under the answer. So that is the completion of this answer. Then the third part of the question was explain the advantages and disadvantages of promotion as an internal source of recruitment. This part carries 6 marks. So under this answer you have to mention about internal definition of internal recruitment first. Then go to a diagram on sources of recruitment which mention internal sources and external sources. You can see here internal sources. One of the internal sources is promotion, about which you have to explain in terms of advantages and disadvantages. Then mention about the definition of promotion. Then each advantage you have to mention, and after mentioning each advantage you have to explain about each advantage further according to the mark. It carries 6 marks. Then next you have to mention about the disadvantages. Then about each disadvantage you have to give your own explanation or description so that you will get maximum mark. This is the end of first question. The second question is differentiate between administration and management. List down the principles of administration by Henry Fayol. Explain the steps in planning. Mark distribution. First part 2, second part 7 and third part 6 mark. The first part is differentiate between administration and management. Ideally, a differentiating question should be in the form of a table with 3 columns. So there is criteria 1 column, management 1 column and administration third column. Thus it consists of a table with the 3 columns. Here the administration and management is differentiated on the basis of function and on the basis of usage. This is the answer key about. Coming to the answer key of Principles of Administration by Henry Fayol. So this is the diagram. Under this diagram, the 14 principles are mentioned here. The third part is explain the steps of planning, 6 mark. So first you have to mention about the different steps in planning. The 6 steps are mentioned here. Each step you have to mention further in your own words or based on the description that you have read in the textbook. Here each step with the key or prompt is mentioned. Here also step 4, 5 and 6 is mentioned with the answer key. So this is the answer key of question. Thus we have completed the answer key of both essays. Coming to the short notes, the first short note was about guidance and counseling. The answer key include definition of guidance, definition of counseling with the author's name. Then you have to mention the principles of guidance and counseling. Then write about characteristics of counseling, characteristics of guidance. Then go to types of areas of guidance and counseling. This you have to mention in the diagram like this and explain about each one little detail. Then go to types of counseling, mention the types like this and explain about it. Then write a table on differentiate between guidance and counseling. Next mention about purposes of guidance and counseling. After that, functions of guidance and counseling, scope of guidance and counseling. Guidance and counseling is a very elaborate topic. You have to concise and write your answer so that everything is covered to get full mark. Next about importance of public relation in nursing administration. You have to write your answer like this. First about definition of public relation, then need of public relation in nursing administration. Then forms of public relation in nursing administration. 4 forms are mentioned here with the key points under each one. Then you have to mention about the types of public relation in nursing administration. The types are mentioned here with the key points. Then you have to mention the qualities of nursing administrator as a public relation officer. The qualities are mentioned here. So that is about the key answer of importance of public relation in nursing administration. The fifth question is master rotation plan. Answer should progress like this. First mention about the definition of master rotation with the author. Then write about purposes of master rotation. Mention principles of master rotation plan. Features of master rotation. Factors to be considered while constructing a master rotation plan. And responsibilities of teaching staff in master rotation plan. This is the answer key of questions about master rotation plan. Coming to the short note on Indian Nursing Council. Answer should include first definition of Indian Nursing Council, aim of Indian Nursing Council, INC Act, organization structure. This is a diagram about organization structure. The description you have to study from your text and write. The committee, these are the committees of Indian Nursing Council about which you have to give description. The function of Indian Nursing Council mention. Types of inspection by Indian Nursing Council you have to mention. Next and last and finally about the roles and responsibilities of Indian Nursing Council. This is the answer key of this question. Coming to short note on nursing audit, your answer should contain the definition of nursing audit with the author, types of audit you have to mention, then just explain about each type. Purpose of nursing audit, you have to write it after. Methods you have to mention and explain about each method. Then write essential characteristics of nursing audit. Then go to audit cycle. In the audit cycle, draw this diagram and explain about each step under the. Go to prerequisites for nursing audit in your answer. Mention the advantages, the disadvantages. This is the answer key of nursing audit as a short note. Then next we will enter into enumerate the following form of question. Under that they have asked for of something to mention. So you need to mention only what is asked. After this 4, the 4 has to be correct to get full mark. Each question carry 2 mark. The 4 what you mention must be correct. So better you mention additionally 2 more. That means 4 they have asked, you mention 5 or 6 of what they have asked. So that even if one is wrong, you will get the full mark. The 8th question is for principles of organization. So here it is mentioned almost all principles of organization. After this you need to mention only 4 if you are sure. If you are not sure, mention 5 or 6 so that at least 4 will be. 4 methods of patient care assignment. The patient care method assignments are mentioned here, or nursing care delivery systems are mentioned here. After this you have to mention 4 ethical concepts related to nursing. The 4 concepts are mentioned here. For qualities of a nurse leader, here you can see in this diagram leadership qualities, personal trait and managerial trait. Out of this you can mention 4. For principles of adult learning, they have asked as the next question. The main principles of adult learning are mentioned here. In that you need to mention or list down 4. Next part is differentiate between. First one is incremental budget and zero-based budget. You can see the difference between both. This is zero-based budget and this is incremental budget. Remember, when you write differentiate between something, mention it as a table with the ideally 4 differences. Here, next question is difference between job description and job specification. In this image, you can see job description and specification is differentiated on the basis of definition, content, measures, and usefulness. Next question is about differentiate between malpractice and negligence. It is written in the form of a cycle because malpractice is otherwise called as professional negligence. 3 points are mentioned under each one. You can present it in the form of a table as well. Next, in-service education and continuing education. This difference is mentioned in the form of a table with 3 columns. First, criteria or on the basis of which we are differentiating. Second, in-service education. Third, continuing education. It consists of 6 points. The 17th question is about difference between benchmarking and the NA chart. The first column about benchmarking, second one is about NA chart, and under each column 4 points are mentioned with differentiating. We have come to the end of this section. In next video, we will discuss another question paper. So, I kindly request you all to prepare for your exam based on the idea you got. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share.